Welcome to Joy News today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kukumlelewi on DTT because we're free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, Ghana's foreign mission in Burkina Faso urges President Akufo-Addo and other coastal West African leaders immediately scale up enforcement of the Akaka security initiative following the announcement of neighboring Burkina and two others to exit sub-regional body ECOWAS. Also, First Deputy Speaker Joseph Sewuso downplays impact of MP losses on parliamentary proceedings despite the booting of notable majority members in the just-ended primaries. We'll hear from watchers of the political space with an impact analysis on this situation. Also, GJA vows to face Howard Kumsin as it supports calls for media blackout after attacking CTFM journalists during the NPP primaries in Cape Coast. More from the president of the association, who says they have evidence to take her on. For business, sports, showbiz and world news coming up shortly. We're also live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and X Spaces for our Joy News on TV. My personal handle is @Denana Aisha. Please stay for details. Many thanks for choosing us. Ghana's embassy in Burkina Faso is urging President Akufo-Addo and other coastal West African leaders to immediately scale up enforcement of the Akaka security initiative following the latest announcement by three military leaders in Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger to officially leave the West Africa sub-regional bloc ECOWAS. The three departing countries, which are currently facing sanctions for overthrowing democratically elected governments, say their decision to withdraw from ECOWAS was made in complete sovereignty, alleging that ECOWAS had deviated from the ideals of its founding fathers and Pan-Africanism after nearly 50 years of existence. In the last few hours, though, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has been responding to the move with a rather sober tone, indicating that Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger are important to the sub-regional community. Head of Diplomatic and Foreign Affairs Desk at Joy News, Blessed Sogat, joins me. Blessed, we know that ECOWAS was making headway in getting these countries to return to democratic rule. I mean, this must have come as a blow to them.
Indeed, it is a big blow to the sub-region, knowing that for the case of Mali, they had announced that the presidential transition would happen just next month, which is a few days away, announcing that, of course, elections for the presidential candidates will take place and eventually return the country to the path of democracy. But that would be in limbo right now, knowing that the Republic of Mali has officially announced that they will be leaving the sub-region. Additionally as well, just last month there was some headway as well, inroads being made by ECOWAS in the case of Niger, knowing that the president of the Republic of Togo, Faure Gnassingbé, had equally, Aisha, if you do recall, announced that he was going to lead the negotiations towards restoring constitutional order in Niger, and that follows a series of back and forth and heightened tension, if you recall, between ECOWAS and Niger. At the time, a meeting was even held in Accra here in the very late parts of 2023, of course, where we saw the military chiefs announcing that they might invade militarily Niger. All of that is being thrown away now, and the fear is that with this heightened tension between Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso, there might be some tough time ahead for the sub.
But in spite of all these developments, I mean, ECOWAS says that these three countries, Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso, still remain important. Why?
There's a communique coming through from the ECOWAS sub-regional body, and it's rather a sober tone, if we should describe it as such, a departure from the threats of sanctions that were handed down these military regimes. Now ECOWAS appears to be toning down and indicating that they regard these three countries for strategic reasons as very important to the SAB region, a reason for which ECOWAS says it remains committed to, resolving the political crisis across the West Africa SAB region. We await further communication from ECOWAS because it says it will further update the public on what the next steps will be and what will happen post the official announcement or communication to ECOWAS, because the regional body says they are not aware as of now. Officially, these three countries have not notified any of their missions, have either not reaching to the headquarters of ECOWAS. So we await, aside the press briefing that we're receiving, to see what the official details will be.
But what has been the response from these three countries? Are they still bent on exiting?
That's the announcement. In fact, quote, it says with immediate effect. That's what these three countries are communicating to the world, adding that they will be leaving the SAB regional body ECOWAS based on some inhumane sanctions. You know that because of the political situation, all of these countries are facing sanctions because they overthrew democratically elected governments. Sure. And that's why ECOWAS was reaching out to restore them to the path of democracy so they could lift the suspension. All of that is not happening now because of this big announcement that they will be leaving the SAB region. But we must point out that for this announcement, it's being treated as something which is unofficial, because once you officially write to ECOWAS, you'll be triggering Article 91 of the treaty, the revised treaty of ECOWAS, which then stipulates that when you put in that official request to leave ECOWAS, you would have to obey the rules, the regulation that govern the ECOWAS body for at least a period of 1 year. That's the transition period for exiting and completely going out of the sub-regional body. So there's a long way to go. And if these three countries, through diplomatic engagements, reverse their decision, then it will no longer be the case that they'll be leaving the body. But for now, there are 15 members of the ECOWAS states, 3 of them who are now announcing to leave under suspension. If they are successful at leaving, that will be reducing the number to somewhere 12. And we don't, of course, want to have that in this highly integrated region.
Well, we live to see how this unfolds. Like you said, we're waiting on ECOWAS for another communique to show us the way forward. Meanwhile, Ghana's ambassador to Burkina Faso, Boniface Gambela, is urging President Akufo-Addo and other coastal West African leaders to immediately scale up enforcement of the Accra Security Initiative following the exit of the 3 Sahelians from ECOWAS, although the Ghanaian diplomat downplays a further breakdown of diplomatic ties between Ghana and neighboring Burkina Faso. Boniface Gambela says steps must be taken to secure coastal West Africa.
I recommend that the initiative put in Ghana by the president of Ghana, Nana Addo, the Accra initiative, should be reinforced and strengthened. Because since Nana Addo initiated that initiative, it has helped a lot. There are issues we cannot mention anyway, but the alliance between Ghana and the other countries, the coastal countries, under the Sahel, under the Accra initiative, has opened up very good operational process for both countries, and even for the other coastal countries with Burkina Faso. You know, the Accra initiative is the group of countries bordering with Burkina Faso. So when President Nana Addo decided to get these countries together to mobilize resources to support Burkina Faso and mobilize the security services to exchange experiences and other things, it has so far worked very well, because under that relationship, Burkina Faso today, I can say, compared to the past circumstances where they couldn't deal with terrorists, since that initiative came on and the relationship built and the support and experiences exchanged, what Burkina Faso is doing now against terrorists is highly remarkable.
So what are the security implications of this latest decision for countries like Ghana? Security consultant Colonel Festus Abuaje explains. He spoke on the AM show.
There's also this early warning arrangement that I spoke about, where ECOWAS is divided into 4 zones, monitoring zones. Now, when they exit, they no longer send any reports to Abuja. So there's going to be a certain deficit of information about what is going on within the Sahelian region. Even the Accra Initiative, they stand to decide whether they will continue to share whatever information, whatever intelligence they have, or they don't want to share it. After all, they're on the front line. So they have what you can call hot intelligence that we may not have, you know. The political stability is also another question. Look, for all you know, there are some other countries in the region that are reading the signals from these 3 countries. And one of them, or some of them that we always talk about, you know, the Togos and the Benins and the Cote d'Ivoires. As for Guinea, he's already a bad boy of France. He's been out long ago. So it has nothing to lose or fear. It is likely, it's possible that a few other ECOWAS countries may follow the direction that these 3 countries, have embarked upon. All said, it doesn't augur well for regional cohesion, regional integration. But if the Sahel goes, then, as people will say, terrorism will be echoing off our northern borders. That's the Guinea coastal states.
Well, that is Festus Abuaje speaking on the security situation of Ghana with the developing issue of Burkina, Niger, and Mali exiting ECOWAS. Let's get on to other stories. Work in Parliament will not be affected despite significant number of majority members losing their seats. That's according to First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Oseuso, after 28 members on the majority side lost their bid to contest in the December 2024 elections in the just ended parliamentary primaries of the party. This has led to fears that work in the House, including government business, will be badly influenced. But the Deputy Speaker and Member of Parliament for Bekwai constituency disagrees. We'll hear from him shortly, but first let's look at the giants that fell in the just ended NPP parliamentary primaries.
There were heavy casualties in the battle for parliamentary seats in the new patriotic party's constituencies. The areas up for contest had incumbent members of parliament facing stiff opposition from other aspirants. In all, 28 incumbent members of parliament lost their seats, bringing to an end their bid to return to parliament next year. Sarah Aja Safo is included in that list of incumbent MPs who lost their seats.
Basically, I'm excited. The Omeko Abenya people have decided it's a massive victory for the MPP. Going forward, I think what we have to do as a party is to unite all of them, the 3 candidates and their followers, and we make sure we break the 8. The local people, the constituents themselves are fed up with the honorable member of parliament, and that is what has been translated in this vote that we're seeing today.
For now, Aaron Mike Okoye Jr. has the arduous task of securing the next electoral victory for the new patriotic party. Ashanti region, the stronghold of the party, also witnessed a shake-up. Eugene Entry, outspoken member of parliament for Subin, who called for the removal of Ken Ofori-Atta as finance minister, is heading home way earlier than he would have imagined. Tina Na Ayele Mensah, Deputy Health Minister. Bright Reku Brobe, Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister. Gifty Chum Ampofo, Deputy Minister for Education. Frida Prempe, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. And Lariba Abudu, Gender and Social Protection Minister, are some of the government appointees who also lost their seats. But some other appointees
were spared. That includes Minister for Trade and Industry and MP for Adansi Esokwa, Kabina Tahir Hammond, who was firing on election day.
I am the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the politics of Adansi.
Well, Deputy Speaker of Parliament Joseph also disagrees that the huge losses will affect the work in Parliament. But what do the political watchers make of the outcome of the polls? Here's Asa Sante. He's the senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana. He spoke on AM Show.
The good is that there was a lot of preparation that manifested itself in terms of the way the election went. With a few hiccups, with the exception of a few hiccups, the election went by and large were peaceful and free and fair, and it tells you that the NPP put in their all to get this type of result. The bad, we also heard of issue of monetization and its effects, which Ghanaian political actors have been hypocritical about. They are not ready to deal with this. I don't know how we are going to fix this problem, but I think that what we can do as a society is to make sure that whoever wants to influence us with money, we chase those people out by voting against them. Otherwise, a time will come, our needs will be ignored by the very people who want them to lead us, because if they can buy their way into parliament, into a presidency or positions of authority, then I'm afraid your needs will not be counted at all in the eyes of those politicians. The ugly is what we saw, the very ugly spectacle in Yendi, where two candidates declaring themselves as winners and all that. It's unfortunate. I believe that the party constitution and other mechanisms are in place to fix this problem once and for all. It doesn't bode well for a party such as MPP.
The Ghana Journalists Association is charged, ready to take on anyone who has assaulted or dares to unleash any form of attack on journalists. The stance is by the association and has been initiated with an outright media blackout against Fisheries Minister Mavis Hawakumsin, whose thugs are alleged to have assaulted a Cape FM journalist, David Corbina, ahead of the NPP primaries. David suffered severe injuries to the ribs, back and abdomen. Even though he's still reeling from the pain, the minister is yet to reach out with an apology or take responsibility for the incident. Instead, she is reported to have dared David to provide evidence. Well, the situation has angered the association, has outrightly blacklisted her. Albert Jumfo is GJA president.
Who signaled our colleague to meet him halfway and who questioned him with a picture on his phone. We have the video of this police officer or this reporter. Let me put it, but we haven't confirmed the officer yet. But we have the video of this reporter police officer following our position on the official run as a minister of fisheries. So what is this? We have two close bars, two close ladies who have been with her, as we are told, for over years, over 10 to 20 years. These ladies, we have pictures of these ladies. They were the first people who approached our brother, our colleague, and then asked him, "Are you Jacob?" They confronted him and asked, "Are you Jacob?" Our colleague said, "No, I'm not." He said, "But you not the one who was on UTV insulting Honorable." So is he saying that he's going to disassociate himself or delink himself from these two women? We have the image. We have a picture of one of the stars who actually assaulted our brother, who hit our brother. We have a picture. We have no CD. So you should bring it on. We are ready. If he wants to try the picture, The media, nobody, no single individual can fight the media in this country. Not even the top. Not to talk of Kaswa. We are there. This is take them to court, and we will meet him.
Amidst the unfolding situation, the Media Foundation for West Africa has declared its full support for the Ghana Journalists Association's decision. Executive Secretary Suleiman Abrahama believes the move signifies a united front within the media community against any form of violence or intimidation towards journalists.
The GJA is saying that, look, media houses should boycott everything related to her. And we have added in our support to the GJA that it shouldn't just be about her. So long as she remains the Minister for Fisheries, in fact, the Fisheries Ministry should not also be covered by the media as well. And I really marvel why she thinks that the whole thing about court is that anything you can just simply say that I'll go to court.
Is it the one that...
Court for what? Defamation? How is she defamed? The GJA has not said that she's the one who beat up the journalist. They are saying that people affiliated to her, and the people subsequently made comments to suggest that indeed they are affiliated with her. And so instead of being sober and doing what people would say, well, that is what is expected of a leader, she is now threatening an absurd court action. Well, we can only wish her well. She should go. We are fully in support of the GJA, and in fact, if she should go ahead with a court case, as General Mosquito once said, anyone can go to court. We would certainly be on the side of the GJA, and will offer whatever support that the GJA is required. If they don't have the capacity to engage a legal person, we would be willing to.
Let's now take you to Yendi, where another journalist is alleging that the MP for the area has assaulted him when he approached him for an interview. The MP was seen in a video visibly angry with the police for failing to protect the ballot box. It was at this time that the journalist allegedly approached him for an interview, only to cut his anger. My colleague Martina Boer joins us on the phone. Martina, who is this journalist and which station does he work for?
The journalist is called Alabila Mohammed. He was for CTFM.
So what do you know about this allegation?
For him saying the MP slapped him, we were a bit far from where the chaos was, so it would be difficult to tell. But we saw an attack on him. We saw the pulling within that enclave where the supporters of the MP and the MP himself were. We saw the tussle there. It was after I had reported that there was an attack on the journalist. He called me from the bath he had been whisked into and said he was slapped by the MP. I asked my other colleagues too whether they were able to see that. But they also gave me the same account that because of the location we were, they didn't also see. But there was an attack on him, that we all saw. Not just only him, there was also an attack on a different journalist called Safran Suini. He was also attacked on that day as well.
Has the journalist reported this matter to the police, and what has become of it?
When I talked to him, he said that he was going to relay everything to his office to take up the case. But the North Region GJA has issued a statement condemning the act, condemning the MP, and they are demanding that he owns up for his responsibilities.
Martina Boer with that update from Yendi. Definitely will bring you more on this as and when we get it. In the escort of the NPP party chairman Stephen Ntim, majority leader Seche Mensah Bonsu, and other government officials, the Ashanti Regional NPP chairman Bernard Nchubuesiako has appeared before the Kumasi Traditional Council of alleged derogatory remarks made against Asantini during the NPP vetting of parliamentary aspirants. In the meantime, Koko Sohene Nana Kwekudria is before the Traditional Council as a witness to what transpired during the vetting. My colleague Nana Boer joins us on the line with more. Nana, what is happening at the Menchia Palace at the moment?
Well, Aisha, you would recall that in the previous meeting of the Kumasi Traditional Council, they did sermon the Asante Regional NPP Chairman, to appear before the council over alleged derogatory remarks he made during the NPP version of parliamentary aspirants ahead of their elections last Saturday. Well, in the escort of the NPP National Chairman and Stephen 18, the NPP General Secretary Justin Fitford, the authority of Chairman Sabuntu, and Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, alongside the Ashanti Regional Minister, Chairman Wontumi, is here with all these government officials to give the side of the story as what transpired during the vetting process. Already, Koko Sohene has delivered his side of the story as a witness to what had transpired during the vetting process. He says that during the process, Chairman Wontumi did make some derogatory remarks against the Asante Hilton 462. He says those statements he confronted Chairman Wontumi against while he made such statements, but then Chairman Wontumi further made such statements without fear, claiming that he has his own kingdom, of which nobody can tell him what to do when he is within it. Well, Chairman Wontumi has also delivered the side of the story. He says that whatever Koko Sohene Nana Sokutu has said is a true reflection of what happened during the vetting process, and so he has denied the allegations. Well, we had Justin Fitford, who presented Chairman Wontumi to the Kumasi Traditional Council. He has asked the council listens to both sides of the story and then deliver a non-partisan judgment as to what transpired during the vetting, and also as the allegations leveled against the very own Chairman Wontumi. And so we are waiting for the Kumasi Traditional Council to conclude on the whole process as to hearing the witnesses and then the accused, Chairman Wontumi, and later Bante Mahine, who is sitting in for the as leader of the Kumasi Traditional Council, would also give judgment on what transpired.
Nana Boer, we understand that the Koko Sohene has been speaking. What did he say to the Traditional Council?
Well, the Koko Sohene did say that Chairman Wontumi made clearly, emphatically, made some derogatory statement against Otunfo, Asante Hene, Otunfo to the second. He said that Chairman Wontumi did claim that he has his own kingdom, which is against the customs of the Asante Kingdom. You cannot own a kingdom within the Asante Kingdom, and so such statements made by Chairman Wontumi are derogatory, and then they go against the rules of the Asante Kingdom, which clearly means that Chairman Wontumi is speaking against the Asante Hene. And so he did say that Chairman Wontumi did emphatically make some derogatory statements against the Asante. Chairman Wontumi has defined such claims.
Nana Boer is following this for us. Definitely there's more we'll be bringing from the Asante Hene's Palace for you in our subsequent bulletins. Let's get to the North District, because in a devastating turn of events, economic activities in the town of Sayekope in that district has grounded to a standstill just 4 days after the collapse of the Akaka River Bridge. The incident occurred when a heavy truck carrying loads of salt attempted crossing the bridge, leading to its collapse. The bridge, a vital lifeline for the local community, connects Sayekope to neighboring areas. The collapse has left residents, motorists, and travelers stranded. Ivy Setoji has more.
This is Sayekope in the North District, and behind me is the Akaka River. And 5 days ago, the bridge collapsed, making activities, especially business activities, come to a standstill. Now, most of the residents, travelers and motorists have to park at the other side, take a boat to wherever they are going. This actually leads to Drapo from Adidome. What the residents are asking government to do is for an immediate action to be taken as soon as possible to get the bridge fixed. One of the residents we spoke to earlier said that maybe it was a way God is just showing the government something, or a way to make the government wake up to do something about the bridge, because it has been in a bad shape for some time now. So the residents are asking government to urgently do something about this bridge, fix it immediately, because as you can see at the back, the track is still in the water. The owners are trying their best to fix it. Residents, travelers and motorists, including Okada riders, have been speaking with Joy News.
The government should at least help us as quickly as possible, because especially the children, imagine the children crossing it. It's not a nice experience at all.
Honestly, I didn't think I'll meet this on the way. For the fact it's not my first time on the queue, so I wasn't really scared about it. But the bridge there hasn't been negotiated for a long time, so I think this is just, since we like action, this is just the best action we can take for prompt care to be taken.
And actually, seeing this horrified situation is a little bit tough for me. And today too is the first time I'm crossing this kind of river with a canoe, and I think all these things couldn't have happened if maybe structural tests should be done, should be doing about this thing. I think this shouldn't have happened. And then moreover too, the government should just speed up and then fix it up so that people can access the road.
MP and DCE for the area are calling on government to quickly intervene.
I renew my appeal to government, and in this specific instance, the roads minister, that they have to move in quickly and restore this strategic bridge. It will have to be reconstructed so that we can have our lives back. But this should present the larger picture of all the damage that the VRA-induced floods, the spillage from the Akosombo pond dams has caused. Because you were here, you saw the water levels rise and the bridge was submerged, and that is what weakened the bridge. And so it tells you that there's work that has to be done. People think that because the water levels have receded, because we are no longer submerged as a community, it's all over, we can go about our normal business. It is not. A stark reminder that the floodwaters have receded, but the damage that it caused is still present and alive, and we have to pay attention to that damage that it left in its wake so that we fix the situation and then guarantee the protection of life and property.
I want to advise our youth, especially those who may be ill-advised to go into stealing of boats and now to sell to scrap dealers and other people. They should desist from that. And that is briefly what I want to say, because when we get you, which I deal with you seriously, there's something that I've also observed. What I've also observed is that there are people who think that anything that belongs to government, they do not want to take care of it. So the things that should be done, they leave it, they neglect it to deteriorate.
She lost her father in a horrific car accident in 2019. 2 years later, her 7-year-old brother was also killed by a speeding vehicle. This is the sad story of 15-year-old Mary Meno. Mary has turned trauma into inspiration, an inspiration that has birthed the development of a device that could help lessen the bloodshed on Ghana's roads. Joy Prime's Lois Shola Deyemi has more.
This is the Aflao Tema Highway. This stretch has claimed many lives, including Mary's father, a sleepy driver who killed him in a terrible head-on collision in 2019.
I lost my dad through road accidents. The report that came out was that the driver was dozing off, so the accident happened in such a way that my father was coming from Togo to Ghana with some friends, and then a car was coming in front of their car, so they were trying to dodge the car, but unfortunately it collided. Then my father passed away sadly.
The accident stole the young lady's source of joy and left her with a heavy load of traumatic experiences.
When I lost my dad, when I heard the news, I decided to stop schooling because my dad was my favorite person in the world, and then without him, I'm like nothing. So I decided to stop schooling because when I go to school and then I see my friends start bringing them to school, then I start crying, or I decide to take my bag and go home. So it hasn't been easy since I lost my dad. It has been 3 years now, but still when I see other people with their dad, I still feel sad.
As if that was not enough, Mary's scars were pierced by another tragic accident. Her 7-year-old brother was also killed by a speeding vehicle. But in the darkness emerged a story of resilience and hope. Mary found strength in her grief.
Because of pain. So when I saw that, I promised my mom that I will not let anyone in my family go through that pain again. So I want to be a surgeon to help everyone who wants to be operated to be free from injuries, so that we will promote healthy living and then families can live together without losing any loved ones through accidents.
That story there. Let's take a break and return this business.
Welcome to the business segment on Joy News today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has reduced its key lending rate to 29% from 30%. The chairman of the committee, Dr. Ernest Addison, made the announcement after its 116th meeting. He explained that the decision was taken following a steady decline in inflation from 54% in December 2022 to 23% in December 2023. Shall be bringing you more updates on the marketplace at 1 p.m. when I come your way with more business stories. Chief Executive of Standard Chartered Wealth Management Limited, Dr. Seto Kwashiga, is urging Ghanaians to take advantage of offshore investments and diversify their portfolio. According to her, there is the need for people to not only focus on local bonds, but look for other investment opportunities as well. Here's a report.
The outlook is a lot better if indeed Standard Chartered, we are proud to say that the dark days are behind us. We have seen bonds perform well, and I know that when we say bonds, it touches a raw nerve in Ghana at this point, but we do have global bonds that have performed significantly well, and we encourage our clients not to look at the past events to determine whether they would stay invested or even attempt to invest. We expect that bonds will do well. We see inflation going down now. It's a good time for people to take advantage of the offshore investments available, offshore bonds, great A-rated bonds, corporate bonds, sovereign bonds that clients can invest in. It will amaze you to know that sitting in Ghana, once you walk to Standard Chartered, you can invest in Google, Apple, you can invest in NVIDIA, the best tech stock at this point. It's available in Ghana through Standard Chartered Bank. And so come to us, speak to us, and let's guide you, because there are still investment opportunities.
That's it for business. I am Pius Kojo Baka. More at 1 p.m.
We will do sports now on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abda. The president of the Ghana Olympic Committee, Ben Nunumensa, says that Ghana is behind schedule in terms of preparations for the African Games 2023. The event, which starts on March 8, 2024, would have about 5,000 athletes assembled in Ghana for the competition, and he says that Team Ghana has started preparations for the competition, but the facilities required to host the games are behind schedule.
Team Ghana was put together maybe about a month ago. the chef de mission got a full complement of his team about a month ago, and just this morning he told me some of them, some disciplines have been earmarked to go for camping in Cape Coast, so they're leaving for Cape Coast this morning. I believe boxing, track and badminton, they're all moving to Cape Coast to start their camping. That is okay, that is good. It would have been better if we had started preparing much earlier, especially being the host country. And then also if we had given some of our athletes the opportunity to go out there, camp within Africa, and maybe test their strength, or as you guys do in football, play friendly matches with some of the countries that we eventually be coming to compete with us. But I guess because of money, it hasn't been possible to do that. But what is important is that at least we're beginning something, we're starting camping, and I hope that once everybody goes into camp, and then we become a bit more serious, maybe we'll have whatever we miss from not having adequate preparation would have been covered by the preparation that we're doing now. The GOC's involvement in Team Ghana is as far as putting the team together. We're also trying to source some funding, close to about $50,000, that if it comes in, we can also use that to support Team Ghana's preparation, and then even Team Ghana's participation at the games. I know Akaka wants to give all the other countries $10,000 for their participation, but that is as far as the GOC's involvement in the African Games is concerned. If I want to speak as an NOC person, where we are now is where we should have been maybe about a year ago. So that means that we need to run. Whatever we're doing. There's no time for Matra Makwe. The right people should be put in charge of whatever. People who have experience, people who have seen it, or people who have done it should be put in charge of things now. And let's get this thing down, because it's really way behind time. But like I said, it's the typical Ghanaians, when we are pushed to the wall, we're like last minute performance. So I'm hoping that we will be able to pull this through and pull it off very well. The performance of Team Ghana will depend on how well we prepare them. For a sport like boxing, I know that we're one of the best in Africa. Track and field was one of the best in Africa. Of course, weightlifting would also show up. So these are a few disciplines that on any day I can put my bet on them that they will be able to win medals for Ghana. Because it will be very bad that we host this tournament, and then the other people come in and take all the medals away.
A member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Sports, Kobina Mensah Oyome, says that the National Sports Authority, the government agency responsible for maintaining facilities in the country, is disappointing Ghanaians. The authority decided to close down the Accra Sports Stadium during the Christmas festivities, but the Accra Sports Stadium and the Cape Coast Sports Stadium currently look like rice farms. He says it's about time that the authority takes responsibility when it comes to maintaining the facilities.
They are just ineffective, they are not working, and they are disappointing Ghanaians. You see, the National Sports Authority are there to ensure that all national teams, including the Black Stars, all national teams across board, that's so far as sports is concerned, we have national teams across, but so far as football is concerned, Black Stars. National Sports Authority should have people with the capacity to be able to also assist and support decisions into the scouting process. Who goes into what? How do you select people across the country? The processes and so on. You understand? And help in getting people to you understand, and then have a certain degree of rapport with the technical handlers of the national teams, to the extent that they will be able to suggest the way forward and so on. But the National Sports Authority has gone to sleep. Absolutely. So it's a matter you should take up. Go to them and find out from them whether they are really working. So far as this is concerned, I getting it. So there's the need, because National Sports Authority should not be sleeping on this, because they are supposed to be working with the federations. The federations more or less are quasi-private and quite autonomous in terms of their affiliations with their international body. In this case, FA has their FIFA, but that body, and then other entities and so on and so forth. So they work in that. But when it comes to the national teams that belongs to you and I, the federations are just caretakers. Your money takes care of them. The National Sports Authority, in taking care of, in ensuring that your caretakers also perform and deliver, you also have a third eye. That is people who understand the terrain.
George Sports understands the Ghana Football Association has made contact with German trainer Jurgen Koller as a potential replacement for Chris Hughton, who have details as the Executive Council meets on Tuesday to review the African Cup of Nations and also consider potential names that will be submitted for appointment as head coach of the Black Stars. Do head on to myjoyonline.com for more sports stories. We appreciate your time.
And before we go, 22 ladies from different universities in Ghana over the weekend were unveiled as the contestants for this year's Ghana Students. That's your showbiz this afternoon, most beautiful pageant show. The launch happened at the Office of Crossmark Marketing, the organizers of the pageant show. My colleague IB has more in the report.
Yeah, so the winner, the ultimate winner, is getting the crown, is getting 10,000 cedis cash trip to South Africa, is getting a reference and attestation from our office, products from our sponsors, souvenirs from our sponsors. Okay. And the first runner-up is also getting 5,000 cedis cash, a trip to South Africa, but that would be their choice if they want to go on a discount. And also all the various packages from sponsors, and then they'll get an academic scholarship too as well. Second runner-up is also going to get 3,000 cedis and also going to receive educational scholarship for one academic year, and also products and souvenirs from our sponsors as well.
And those are the prizes. The winner, the first runner-up, and the second runner-up are going away with at this year's Ghana Students Most Beautiful. But what value will be added onto them through this pageantry? CEO of Crossmark Marketing, Richmond, tells us.
Yeah, most importantly is that they have been a career path or development path have been defined for them. Like I was saying, there's a job clinic, there's also a mentorship clinic, which doesn't just let you become just a contestant. You have that lifestyle impact such that you can become an entrepreneur. We give you all the things you need to establish business, how to solicit for funds, how to have fundraising, capital to start a business, and all of that, the do's and don'ts, micro and macroeconomic factors that affect young entrepreneurs. They are taught all of that, so that even when they want to establish themselves, because of how difficult the situation is in the job market in Africa, they can become entrepreneurs themselves. They will take home with that to establish themselves.
The headline sponsor for Ghana Students Most Beautiful is BD Swiss. Richard Jones JC, who is the country manager, tells us why.
Our focus is basically on the student. Okay. It's on the youth, and part of our program is to educate people, and especially the youth that want to have advantage to or opportunities to trade online. Most of them don't know how it works, how to get access to a reliable brokerage firm. So we established an educational center in order to guide, educate them, and then teach them the risk management that comes with it. Ghana Student was beautiful because I think that it's an opportunity also for us as a company to penetrate into the student body, because we've been looking to impact our services on the student. So we felt that in order to do that effectively, we will have to first of all give to the people through our corporate social responsibilities. That is why we chose this program, and then we can have our impact felt before we actually go down to the student body in all the campuses.
One of the judges tells us what they are looking out for in the contestants.
You should be versatile. Okay. We are not just looking at your beauty, your personality, how
nice you are to somebody or what. Look, we're looking at so many things. Your character. You should be able to speak in extempo. You should be able to control people. You should be able to influence people. A lot. We're tapping up so many characters, so many things about you. Explore. That is it.
Some of the contestants gave their reason for joining Ghana Students Most Beautiful.
And that's how we wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aishiva. I'm logged on to myonline.com for more of the news and updates of all developing stories. To enjoy the rest of our programs.